Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome on in. It is round 8 of Season 7 in Division 1 for the Silly Season Racing League. I am, of course, your broadcaster and commentator, D-Dave11, also known as Dave, or even Wingus. Of course, let's go into the calendar as we are tonight heading to the strip of Las Vegas, followed by Qatar and Abu Dhabi, with the trifecta of the United States being completed in Miami. And then the week after that, we'll have our mystery finale. Where could that be? We'll find out in a few weeks' time. But going into tonight, these are not the correct standings because I'm in the wrong scene. I am human after all, but anyway, there we go. We'll just have to skip to the race feed for now, and if I do get a bit of time in between quali and the race, I will go through your standings and update those for you tonight. But obviously, F1 has just visited the Vegas Strip in real life, but now we are going to see how the drivers at SSRL do in the virtual world of Formula 1. Of course, going into tonight, it is a significant lead for Rush the Series, 12-point separation for him going in. So Herman with a lot of work to do and really does need to try and bring some momentum back his way. Of course, there's still a few races to go. But either way, I think that it's just for the sake of his confidence more than anything that he would like to just try and get up there with the guys. With the only guy at the front, beg your pardon. But anyway, let's see what happens in qualifying. Of course, it will be a single 18-minute session to decide places 1st through 19th. And we are soon going to be seeing the first flying laps come our way. Of course, the first minute is usually spent in the pit lane just trying to get setups together. And of course, everything else just for the first run. Fuel and everything good like that. As we have a lobby reset. So something has gone dramatically wrong with the lobby and we will be resetting. So that means we are going to cut straight back here. And luckily for all of you, I got the driver standings here. So there we go. We can now run through all of that for you. I will not be looking at it at the moment. So it looks like I think I will need to stay in the session, but either way, I will just keep an eye on that for you. But obviously, bit of a start there. So there is going to be a slight delay to proceedings here. And, we'll just have to, unfortunately, wait a little bit. Unfortunately. Let's see. Quincy here with one simple message is, don't have kids. So, yeah, of course, we actually have the wrong type of qualifying here. So, it is a dry qualifying, and, of course, we did agree that it is full wets. But either way, let's have a look at your situation going into tonight. So as we've already said already, 12 points separates Herman and Rush the Series. Babish there, it's just kind of on the fringes now, I would say. 106 points and a 24-point deficit. If it was to go right at any point of the weekend, any point of the season, would really need to be tonight. But then again, we say that every single week is a must-win for one of those three, and Rush the Series, well, I'm sure those two behind him are hoping that some pressure comes off. Andy Andre taking an absolutely emphatic win after Rush the Series said that Imola was his. Turned out to not be the case. Andy Andre had other ideas as Moksha and Andrew round out your top 5 there. Moksha rounding out your top 5, and then it's Andrew, Energetic, Verstappen, Bards, and Mr. Router rounding out your top 10, followed by Race Chase, Quincy, Ryan Brooks, Tark and Gino Kovachka with Flip Namshran, Quan, and Crank Jog rounding out your full-time drivers. Then in the reserves, it is Danger David very much leading the way there with 44 points, with Salvi in second, Pleasant Snake, Fellow Son, Trugster, Jolly Boy John, and Vincenzo round out the rest of the reserves. And then in your team standings, it is an 18-point gap from Alpine to Williams there, with Ferrari in third with 139. Much better than they are doing in real life, that is for sure, with McLaren and Aston rounding out your top 5. Then it's Mercedes and Red Bull in a tight fight, along with Kick Sauber, Racing Bulls, and Haas. So that could go anywhere. If the Haas gets a good result, they jump up a few points. And then if others get a good result, then they also jump up points. So yeah, it is all to play for in the constructors still, whatever way you look at it. And I think there might be a bit off. Yes, it was indeed. So there we go. Now it's corrected, and you can see the whole table now as it should be seen. But anyway, now we're just setting up the lobby again. I think we'll just take a couple of minutes just so that we can let the guys get ready. But otherwise, I will be right back with you very, very soon. And we will then have an 18-minute full wet qualifying. Very sorry for the extended delay there, but we are finally back and we are ready to actually go. Is there any more Uno reverse cards left this season? Nope, both have been used. Of course, welcome to Fellow Son, who is also racing with us tonight. Well, the reverse from Division 1 was used in round 6, so that was 2 weeks ago, a bit late on that one, my guy. But either way, it provided a little bit of a good race, actually. I think it was in... Was that the Interlagos round? I think it was, because that was the Grand Prix before Las Vegas. So, yeah, no, we've used that one up already. I do not have an Uno reverse card left for either division, I'm afraid. So, I think you even missed both of those. Of course, Trugster had something to say about it the first time we did it this season, and because he was on pole. But obviously, we are now getting ready to go for a full wet 18-minute qualifying, and the rain is pouring here in Las Vegas as per the rules of the league. So in case you don't know, the quirk this season, as it is called Silly Season Racing League, is that there is always a quirk, whether that be a reverse grid that I can initiate at a one time, and then Quincy and the admins come up with a little silly season idea, which is of course brought in by the community, and this was the idea. that they went with full wet qualifying. Now, of course, the qualifying did actually go full wet in the weekend, and this was initially supposed to be a dry qualifying because they thought, oh, it's a desert track, it doesn't rain. Well, turns out you can be proven once in your life, and that is certainly how that went out, of course. Ferrari not hoping to replicate the same results in qualifying from Saturday, but let's see how in the world of SSRL the Tifosi drivers do. Of course, that is Rush Series and Vincenzo for the evening. Energetic is the one, though, getting things underway. 18 drivers behind him, looking to set laps that will get them in to somewhat of a close top 10, or maybe even pole position, depending on who you are. But either way, your championship contenders, Herman, Bavish and Rush Series, well, all hoping for something better. And DeAndre also with us as, oh goodness me, Energetic already slipping and sliding, going through turn number 5 there. You approach that at a very slow 68 miles per hour, but all of a sudden now, as even the Racing Bulls was struggling through there. I don't know who that was. That could be anybody. That was Mr. Walter, actually. So my guess would have been right first time. But either way, who is the team not without a teammate tonight? Because everybody else has one. And I do think it is actually the car that we are looking at, because I do not see another Racing Bulls looking down the graphic. That is a bit of bad news there. But now, we are currently looking at Quincy now taking the lead of the pack, and now he will be the one to lead the 18 drivers behind him on their first flying laps. Well, bar a few, Barnes, Fellow Son, Race Chaser, and Rush Series keeping to the pit lane, but everybody else going out early as possible. And now, with just over 15 minutes to go, we will start seeing the first flying laps begin, not be completed necessarily. And look at that. Did you see in the spray there how it just went purple thanks to the lights of the Las Vegas? That's more a quirk with the game more than anything. But this is a 17-turn track at a length of 3.8 miles. The race lap record, according to my notes anyway, was a 1:34.876 by Lando Norris in the 2024 McLaren, but I do believe that was beaten this year, but I will just, of course, double check that very, very quickly as we see Quincy go across the final corner now and begin his first flying lap. But of course, it's a short run down from the start, finish straight into turn 1, one of the shortest on the calendar. And now he's got to kind of take it easy in dries. This is a fun set of corners in the wets. It is a tricky set of corners. And now just finally getting all that patience together. And look at him just trying to, well, not put some heats into the tyres, but maybe just kind of bring up some dry lines here. I think he might be going for another flying lap, breaking out the 100-meter board. Far too late there from the Williams driver, and that lap is all but gone. And I think a Kick Sauber as well had a moment behind Quincy. I'll just have a look to see if I can find out who that was, or that might have been a slow-moving Kick Sauber, all the same. But now, all of a sudden, do we have anybody on a representative lap at the moment? ADS not involved in all of that, so that would have been his teammate, but it is a traffic of F1 cars there. Was Andy impeded by Quincy, or maybe even distracted? In fact, more drivers have started to go out on a flying lap here. Of course, Quincy did say to me in messages, and you're not going to believe this, but the track is slippery. Mind-blowing revelations there from the admin of SSRL. Of course, breaking news, Quincy announces it's slippery. We'll have more at 11. So, as of right now, we'll see if Andy Andre is going to be on pole in a few moments' time. But, well, he will be on pole anyway. That is a guarantee, because he's actually first across the line. So, duh. We will see what time he sets for the 18 drivers behind him to make a banker. But, of course, track evolution will be in effect here. We will soon see how the times go down. But of course, we can make some calculations here in a few moments' time. Andy Andre, pole last week to the win. It's going to be to the top for now. It's a 1:46.1. Quincy behind there, I think, has peeled into the pit lane. No, he hasn't. I think he's actually just slowed down to go for another lap, as Energetic with a 1:49. And yeah, all sorts of slow times. And there's Quincy with a 2:09. So he's got a bit of work to do, but obviously, as we saw, going into turn 5 is where he lost it all. But Verstappen into second place here, wasn't with us last week, but is here with us this week. He is 8th with 49 points in the standings, as Lord Kakashi says hello here, and is also experiencing a full wet qualifying like it was in real life, as Quincy slows all the way down again. But there's Vincenzo there to the line, and Ferrari up into 4th place there. So I think that'll make the Italians very happy. But hello to Lord Kakashi. Welcome on into the stream. Welcome welcome on in to SSRL Round 8 in Las Vegas, as Bavish has just gone up into second place there, 7/10 off of the current world champion here in SSRL. More times coming in thick and fast. ADS also going up into 5th place there, and Race Chase won't be too far away. Race last light in the Nitro Realistic Racing League, but it was one to forget, but it was round a different track. It was in Bahrain, and now Race Chase looking to put things right. And tonight, let's see what he can do as a first time on the board. Currently without a time, of course, because the first set of flying laps have only just come in, and that is a 150.0, and that's nearly 4 seconds. Well, that is over 4 seconds off to Andy Andre and Bavish there. Why is the separation so big, I wonder? Like, that's your top 9 there, separated by... Yeah, no, sorry, by just under 4 seconds, but then you go to 10th place with Tark and Gino there. That is a 150.9. That's over 4 seconds there. Goodness me. Hamilton 40. I hope not. For Rush the Series' sake, I hope not. Hello everyone, says Hassel. Hello to you, and welcome on into everybody in chat as well. Of course, fellow Sun said hello earlier on. But let's have a look with the one driver without a time on the board in this full wet qualifying as Andrew and Herman taking pole position there for the time being. Herman needed that. He qualified last week all the way back in Imola. Qualified it in 12th place, was able to take a good recovery race up into 4th position, but didn't want to repeat that, and now he's made a statement straight to the top of the timing boards. Began tonight 12 points behind Rush the Series, and this is the first step towards the right direction for the German driver. But we are currently looking at Barnes here. Last week achieved, I say achieved, could only muster a 13th place qualifying, as he really loses the rear end out of turn 12 there, and that really does affect you badly, because now you don't have the optimum straight line speed, you don't have the traction or the momentum, and he is going to be losing 10th and a 10th and a 10th, about 3/10 he will lose on that alone. And he's not even using up his battery, look, so he might be just on a recharge lap, as he's losing the rear end again as he approaches turn 14 there. Of course, 13 is considered a turn there, that little kink down the Las Vegas strip. And now to the final couple of corners, well, to the final corner now of turn 17. Turns left, could only muster 14th there. Bards, who showed some promising pace in only a season ago, is just falling away. But then again, it could also be the quirk of the qualifying rule, as we now see Mr. Router go up into 4th place. But here's one to look out for. Your championship leader starting a flying lap here in the rain of Las Vegas. Will he set the souls of Vegas on fire, or will he no, I couldn't go anywhere with that. Or will he find debt in the gambling of the Las Vegas casinos? I'm sorry, I really couldn't find the right words for that, as Bavish there goes up into a 145.8 there to take temporary pole position for now, but at least Bavish showing some promise here in the wet. Managed 3rd place last week in Imola, but hoping to make that a couple of places better this week in Vegas. And now approaching turn 12, he goes left onto the straight there. Not the best exit from the Ferrari either. We saw a couple of the cars in the real life struggling on Saturday night, but now down the strip he goes. What's his speed at the moment? He's just under 190 miles per hour according to the speedo on his steering wheel. Here we go, approaching at a rate of knots now. 193 miles per hour was the maximum speed. Brake at the 150 meter board. Make that left turn now, and he's just a bit wide there, but he'll get away with it. There's more than enough room there to fit an F1 car through, but only just. And now all the way to the line now. You are simply just relying on how little drag you have. Turn right here for a fast one, but it's a 158.0, so not a representative time from the Ferrari driver. In fact, has just started using his battery now as Bart's. There we go. We were kind of talking about how his pace has fallen off, and all of a sudden goes right to the top. Is it a low 44 or high 43 for pole? It's looking that way. I would say it's a low 44 if needs be. And also Lord Kakashi celebrating a watch streak. He is on a 3-stream streak. Thank you very much, Lord Kakashi. And no, hope everybody having a good Monday. If you've not had a good Monday, we do hope that the action from the silly season racing league brings you some joy to your evening. But Bards there just went to the top of the timing boards as Andrew goes all the way to second place as Herman the German fastest again, a 1:45.2. So Andy Andre with a bit of stiff competition, it would seem, at the moment. He's just going through turn 12 now. A lot of drivers struggling with that corner at the moment. He's gone 2/10 faster than his personal best, so do remember the delta on the top right only compares to the driver's personal best within qualifying, not the overall session best, unless if you're the one who is on pole. Of course, that is the only exception to the rule there. But anyway, Andy Andre from currently down to 5th place after blistering the lap times in the first part of qualifying with a 1:46.1. At the moment now, looking to improve on that. Found 2/10 through the Sector 2 timing beam and is now approaching turn 17 after going through those tight, twisty turns of corners there. But it's going to be straight to the pit lane for a fresh set of full wet tyres. Remember, the rule is you cannot use any intermediates during this session. And fellow son, well, he was asking if I had any reverse Uno cards left, in case you don't know what I mean. Every once in a while, I am allowed to reverse the grid as Rush the Siri goes up into 3rd place as well. The championship contenders are inseparable. There are 2 in your top 3, Bavish being the 3rd guy, currently down in 6th place here. And, well, we'll need to get a lap in. Well, probably start thinking about running his final flying laps very, very soon. And Aston Martin, going very slowly, brings out the yellow flag in Sector 1. That might be race chase. It indeed is. He's improved his time up to a 1:46.6. Well, nearly a 1:46.7 there. But it's just not high enough. The qualifying is separated by mere tenths. And this is becoming a great one, as Hessel predicts a 1:43.690 for pole position. I can't think why they have said that. Couldn't think that why. It's not like it's a funny number or anything like that. But anyway, let's have a thing here. Race chase not doing too hot at the moment. Qualified 9th last week in Imola, but finished a lap down in 12th place during the race. So hoping for better as well for himself as well, and obviously hoping for better if you were with me for the Nitro Realistic Racing League. Of course, you'll remember he didn't even finish that race either. 1:43.88 predicts Truckster, and Chessel goes, what? Just a guess? I'm sure it is. As we are now looking at Energetic, of course, just coming off a flying lap there, up into 4th place. What about Vincenzo? Of course, he's just gone 2.5 tenths up in Sector 1 to, well, 2/10/600, so if you want to be really technical about it. But that was actually... Oh, wait, he's just come off a flying lap. Never mind, I've misinformed you. He's now 2.5 down on his personal best, because he's just come off a flying lap, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway... At the moment, Herman's still pole position and is actually going for another flying lap as well. I wonder if he is going to leave this as late as he possibly can. Let's bring out the tyre delta to see if anybody has been trying to get a cheeky time on those intermediates. Doesn't look like there are any as of right now, but is Herman going all the way on those wet tyres? He did that last week in Imola. It didn't pay dividends. We'll see how it looks as he goes through, well, finishes as well. I'm secretly watching while we're closing up at work. Nice. I am always with you, secretly watching from the shadows. Hello, underling. Welcome on in to the chaos that is SSRL. It is a full wet qualifying as per the rules in Las Vegas, as it was in real life, actually. Very surprised to see a full wet qualifying, which was absolutely entertaining. And there's a Mercedes there going by. That must be Andy Andre on his outlap. In actual fact, Herman doesn't go to the pits there. He is going to start another lap, as now Andy is down to 9th place. Of course, he just pitted in for a fresh set of wets as he's struggling through the first corner there. Long left-hander, followed by a long right-hander. You have to be so tentative on the throttle. And he goes into the wall there. That's not going to help matters at all for the Mercedes driver and the current world champion. Absolutely dominated last week from pole position, but is certainly struggling in the wet conditions here in Vegas. He said that this wasn't, I think he said this wasn't a strong track for him last week in the podium interviews, but 3 tenths up on his personal best within Sector 1, and we'll see if he can continue that momentum through to the next 2 sectors. At the moment, of course, Bards with a good improvement there up into 5th place earlier on in the session. But at the moment now, we're in the final minutes of qualifying. Under 3 minutes to go. And if you're looking to set your final flying laps, well, now, no time like the present, because you have also got to keep those wet tyres under, well, at a good working order, so to speak. Andy very wide through 12. I think that is just the racing line there because everybody's going wide as Energetic goes straight up to pole position after 7 laps on those full wet tyres. I don't think Herman is keeping up with Andy, and I think he is just dropping off for obvious reasons. Might wanted to observe his lap just to see where he was going fast, but it's not going to be representative as Mr. Wouter now goes up into 5th place with a 1:45.526 here. But you are currently on board with the current champion of SSRL, a 5-time world champion, as Bavish goes up into pole position, a 1:44.9. But Track Evolution is playing its part here. It is now or never if you want to get a good starting position. Andy Andre with a 1:45.3. It is not going to be top of the timing boards for now, but he will get another flying lap in if he can get round the Las Vegas track in time. Of course, one of the longest on the calendar at 3.8 miles. Of course, Spa still being the longest track, I think, in the calendar, unless if that honour has gone to somebody else. But either way, where's the Siri now? Is he just coming out of the pit lane? I think he is, and he's got... No, he's on a flying lap, so he's all good. Kovachka has retired as well. That was in the pit lane. And actual fact, no, he was in the McLaren. I think he's crashed it on the pit lane, on the start-finish straight there. Yes, he did. He's crashed it on the start-finish straight and is out of qualifying. So he, at the moment, starts 17th place as a Red Bull there comes across the line. Was that Danger David starting a final flying lap? No, because he's currently going through to turn 17 as we currently speak. He is... So that was actually Bards there from 9th position, starting another flying lap. As now, there we go, Danger David only up to 17th place. So Pips, Kovachka, but either way, a disappointing qualifying for the Scotsman. He won't be happy with that, as Quincy has just got up into 2nd place, a 1:45.1, but that'll be his final flying lap, I do believe. As Energetic still on 8 lap wet tyres. He has worn those to the end, as Herman the German as well, but down 1.5 seconds in sector 3, but he's still got time for one final flying lap, as there's a Haas to his right-hand side there. Is that Verstappen? It is fellow Sun VR trying to get a final flying lap in, so Herman might have to forget about this flying lap attempt because fellow Sun is going to be on the pace here, and this could be rather unfortunate for Herman here, as now fellow Sun will begin his final flying lap after invalidating here. And I don't think Herman's realised it. I think he's made a mistake, and he hasn't realised that that is not Verstappen ahead of him. That is fellow Sun. Oh no, that is bad news for him, as now qualifying is complete, but it's only Sorebo that has completed a time. Who is furthest around the track at the moment? Is it Bards? It is. Who's going to come to the line first? I have not seen this before. 18 cars are trying to get round the track, or 17 if you discount Sorebo and Kovachka, to complete their final flying laps. Bards at a severe disadvantage will be across the line first, but straight to the top. Will that stay? His teammate will be next, and he's actually improving as well. Danger David has somehow found a bit of strength to end this qualifying session. He was 1.4 seconds up in Sector 2, and he'll go 2nd place. Incredible. It's one of the Kick Sabers next. Energetic, 4th place for him. Who is next now? It is Quincy across the line. No improvement for him, obviously. And, well, a couple to the pits there. But now the Ferrari of... Who is that? Vincenzo will be next across the line. A couple making their way into the pit lane. Race chaser Targagino. Vincenzo 5th place. Aston Martin next, is it? Nope, evidently not. Is it Mr. Alta next to the line? It indeed is. Here we go. It's only 13th place there. He will not improve at all. Herman the German is now not next, but he's not improving either. Why does he stay out on that set? As Andy Andre to pole. Oh, goodness me. This is exciting stuff. There's a Haas now there as well. And fellow Sun's invalidated anyway, so this won't count. Who is next? It's Rush the Series. Surely needs to improve. Can't find it. Rush the Series is outside the top 10. Herman hasn't had a good qualifying. And that means Bavish is the one-up in this championship equation after qualifying. Really needed this. 24 points behind in the Drivers' Championship. going into tonight, and his foot is firmly through the door in this one. But look at that, Andy Andre demoralizing the entire grid, pole position by over 0.3 of a second. And that, of course, confirms your official results from qualifying. Bards will be second, Danger David third, Bavish and Energetic round out your top 5, with 6th to 10th being Vincenzo, Quincy, Ehrman, Fellow Son and Verstappen, with 11th to 15th being Rush the Siri, Race Chase, Mr. Wouter, Melksha and Andrew, with 16th to 19th being ADS, Tarkin, Gino, Kavachka and Suribo. I was way off. In fact, yes, you were, because it was a 1:44.0. Well, you weren't too far off, to be honest with you. You just needed 0.3 and a hundredth for that. And we will soon find out where things are going to stand. Now, we will be back in a few minutes' time. Let's see what the announcement says. When are we going to when are we going to be back underway? I don't think we have any news on that at the moment, so I will obviously just take a quick break for a couple of minutes just to have some water, give my voice some rain. Why did I choose the funny number? Why, brain? Why? As we do have an announcement, we will be back at 5 past the hour, so that is 4 minutes from now. Don't go anywhere. We have 25 laps of racing to come your way very soon. We are back, and we have got the formation lap underway. It is Andy Andre on pole position. He is starting on medium tyres, as is everybody, actually, with Bards in second place there. Great qualifying from him with his Red Bull teammate taking third position. Babish, with a serious advantage tonight, is starting from fourth place. Fifth is Energetic, with Vincenzo in sixth. Quincy starts from seventh, with Herman, another one of the championship contenders, had not the best qualifying, but 4 places behind an immediate championship rival. Fellow Son rounds out ninth, with Verstappen taking 10th place, so Haas 9th and 10th respectively. 11th is Rush the Series championship leader. Poor qualifying from him. 12th place is Race Chase. 13th place Router. Then it's 14th and 15th going to Moksha and Andrew, with the rest of the drivers being ADS, Tarkangino, Kovachka and Cerebro rounding out your top 19. And now Andy Andre leads the 18 drivers behind him throughout the rest of the formation lap. And any moment we will see a great battle into turn 1. Bards will be hoping to take the lead away from Andy Andre, but it's just a bit awkward there. That run to turn 1 is actually rather short, so it's one of the shortest from the start-finish line to turn 1. In fact, I think it is the shortest run, if I'm not mistaken, on the F1 calendar. Of course, if anyone wants to correct me on that, you most certainly can. By the way, I know I said I was going to double check this, but the race lap record now belongs to Max Verstappen with a 1:33.365, and that was of course done this year in the RB21, which of course he said would never get another win after Hungary. And now Dage David there, oh, maybe a bit close there to the grid slot there, nearly disqualifying himself, but got the car stopped in time. And, well, will... Oh, there's a fast there, just going a bit wrong there in the formation lap, trying to get himself back underway before he's disqualified. Has got a bit of a gap, so can he do it? He's actually gone and done it, you know. Well parked from the Hungarian driver there, but a bit embarrassing to do that on the formation lap, as Sasiri on that angle there. Of course, it caught out Kimi Antonelli to force a drive-through, but no such luck will be happening as Surabo is disqualified. And now we will go for the countdown. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's go in Vegas. Who got the better start there? I think that goes to Andy Andre, to be honest with you. And here we are already at turn 1. Look at Andy with a cushion, but in the background, we are looking... Oh, my goodness me! And Aston Martin, that's Race Chase, spun round at turn 1. And I think we're going to have an early VSC as more chaos has happened. Oh, my goodness me! ADS has been spun round, and that is indeed a VSC right off the bat. We barely got anywhere with that race, and already we have a 10-second penalty for Tarkangino for a severe collision with ADS. And that brings the racing to a halt after mere meters. And even Kovachka has got a 10-second penalty as well, but I think that just missed that with the graphics. But Andy Andre already can look at building his lead. VSC only slows the delta down to 30% of race pace. And, well, this could mean that race is pretty much over already, and Andy Andre will be allowed to get away, so it will have to be a safety car. That brings us back into things, but ADS there will not be happy with being spun round, and in fact Tarkangino might be even less happy. He's missing an entire side of his front wing there. And what about Kovachka as well? Is he okay? No, he is missing the entire right side of his own plate. There is now Barish trying to make a move on Danger David on the restart there, but Danger David was equal to it, and now Vincenzo will go side by side with the Ferrari as the two Red Bulls go side by side with one another. Danger David up into second place for the time being. Fellow Son as well gets past Quincy in the background for 8th place, but this is the battle we're focusing on. Here down into turn 14 we go. The Williams and the Red Bull go side by side. Barish here fighting for the championship. He's got that move done. It was a bit scrappy, but I think it was just on the side of fair, as now that Red Bull of Bards is going to lose out potentially to the Ferrari, but no chance there. Energetic says I will fight this instead, and now the Ferrari is forced to defend successfully so, but no, he's spun round a little bit through turn 1. Need to be a little careful here as Hope the German takes advantage of all of this. Also a championship contender tonight, started to 12 points behind Rustasiri, who is yet to really make any significant progress. 2 positions for him so far. DRS has been activated down this straight. 2 DRS zones here, many in the pits already for damage. I think Quincy was also involved in some sort of some sort of accident there as well, as Vincenzo loses out big time. And Herman, well, is granted a free position, and Energetic really is the cork in the bottle. Vincenzo is struggling to get those mediums to a working order, and so now his teammate rushed the series behind him. I think Vincenzo would be wise to just let him through, as there we go. Quincy now is on those hards. Maybe he's not pitting for damage. Maybe he is going to go to the end, as Kovachka still needing to serve his 10-second penalty for, I think it would have been a severe collision with another driver, as now fellow Sun and Herman have just gone side by side. I thought I saw some carbon fiber going flying there, but evidently not. But Herman seems to have made a massive mistake, and it's now down to ninth place and now behind Rush the Siri. This is becoming a little bit catastrophic here for the German, but now we're going to have a 3-wide affair and 3 cars with DRS. This could be an exciting little moment here in the Grand Prix. Herman does get a position as a Ferrari of Vincenzo has gone wide with contact with the Hazard. That's an unsafe rejoin from Verstappen. He goes into the side of Race Chase there. A bit desperate to rejoin. You got another 10 for Speedy in the pit lane. Oh, that's where Kovachka's 10 came from. Thank you very much, Truckster. But an unsafe rejoin by Verstappen there, and Race Chase will not be happy with that. He swerves to the left-hand side of the track to say, hey, that wasn't great, and Race Chase will remain 14th for the time being. But a lot of chaos happening more at the back of the field in this early part of the Las Vegas Grand Prix here in SSRL. And the RJ, though, continues to hold that lead at 1.6 seconds. And now Rush the Series turn to make a mistake, as now Herman will take advantage of that. He's now back past his championship competitor. Now, of course, we do need to just go through the points and where they will stand very quickly. So I'll try and get the sheet for you right now. And in fact, it's just in my drawer that I've just opened. And now I have got the paper. So we'll go through that in just a few moments' time. Now, you do still get points for fastest lap of the race, as I was told, as I mistakenly misinformed you. I think it was either 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, where I said, yeah, no, you don't get a point for fastest lap. No, you do. So, of course, that is an extra point on there, and, well, it would mean everything, wouldn't it, if one of them got it. But that would probably be more crucial for Andy Andre. But here we go. We need to cut away from that from just a second, because Bards is about to go up into third place there under DRS. And that is now second and third again for the Red Bull drivers, but a swapped round order, because Danger David was behind his teammate at the start there, as fellow Sun gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. We've had an incident. It's Quincy in the barrier, missing a large chunk of his front wing there. ADS is just behind him there, coming into shot now. But here, well, at the moment now, I was just saying that how Bards had overtaken Bavish, and Bavish looked like he was about ready to go down the inside there. But obviously Quincy, with front wing damage, will have to pit again. He doesn't want to retire. He could still be on for points here, as we score from 15th to 1st now. But there we go. There's Bavish already back past the Red Bull of Bards, but no real gain on Danger David at the moment. But as there was a bit of a hit into the wall there from the Williams driver. You just heard that crunch on the left-hand side. I mean, it's a tactic. Kovachka with the no brakes approach. I mean, it's a tactic. I mean, you're not wrong, as Quincy back into the pit lane there after damage, after, of course, what we've just seen from him there at the very corner that these fellas are currently approaching. I'm just keeping an eye on our championship competitors as well. Bavish is definitely the one who's going to benefit big time here. If things stay as they are right now, he scores 17 points. And, well, we're certainly 4 laps into this race, and it is going by at a rate of knots. But here we go again. We're going to go on board with the Alpine driver here. Hasn't won a title since Season 1, but has had to play second fiddle to the Romanian Andy Andre. But he has really come back to Season 7 with a vengeance here, after he was banned from driving last season, but has really taken that season to get himself focused, as now we see a swap between Race Chase and Vincenzo as well for 13th place. That's all said and done, but back to Herman the German just real quickly. Of course, was banned from racing last season, took a season out just to sort out some personal matters, and has come back to Season 7 with a real vengeance. And you know what? If there is anybody who deserves a title this season, it is certainly him. But of course, he's got a challenge here. He's got Rush the Siri behind, who, of course, those two went head-to-toe at Season 3. 3 with Andy Andre, who, of course, I'm sure you're all aware by now, came out with the championship at that point. But these two have had a controversial moment back in Season 3 as well. Energetic and Bards have just swapped around, and there we go. Fellow Sun and Herman now eventually do make their swap, as Bards seems to be struggling now on these medium tyres. We're only on lap 5 out of 25. We're not even at the halfway point of the Grand Prix at the moment. We're a few laps away from that, though. And, well, there we go. I think we just had a penalty for something there, but I unfortunately missed it. So let's just have a quick look. No, we didn't there. So I think that was just my eyes playing tricks on me. As they always do, chat. They always do that. Don't worry about that. That's nothing new, to be honest with you. But we'll continue to see how things are going. Herman up 2 places, though. Rush the Series up 3, but I think he would have wanted to have made better progress, because they do not want to see Andy take another win from pole position. And, well, if things stay as they are, Andy gets another big gain. Of course, 27 points at maximum available. But we've had a caution here. Tarkangino and Kvachka have had a moment at the earlier part of the lap, and maybe not. Maybe there was just a bit of a mistake there, but either way, we need to cut away, because Energetic is getting ready to set up Bavish here, and Herman is getting ready to set up Bards here, as there's a great battle for what is 4th place here. Well, 3rd place, actually, beg your pardon. Sorry about that. As, yeah, no, Bavish has been unable to close the gap to Danger David, and Danger David has subsequently been able to close the gap to the Mercedes of Andy Andre in front. This is an absolutely dominant drive yet again. Of course, Andy has celebrated getting married this year as well. So, of course, as we all say from the community, congratulations to him. And it looks like he is extra motivated. These past couple of races has really been back to form. Of course, came into tonight with 71 points. He is currently 59 points behind the championship leader. And at the moment, the championship leader is definitely struggling here, as Kvachka and Tarkangino are playing swap for 16th place here. Kvachka with a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane there. And we'll see how this battle goes out. Of course, we'll cut away in a few moments' time if we need to. But at the moment now, it seems to be, well, hang on a minute. Oh, my goodness me, we did need to cut away, because Bards has just got into the back of the kick salver of Energetic, and that might leave Herman with a bit of a run here. But, of course, Bards will have DRS to defend from that if he is able to use it. And at the moment, he's already pulled a 3/10 gap, but is it going to be enough to keep the Alpine, the pacey Alpine at that, behind? As now Bards, well, no, Bavish and Energetic are going to go side by side into the next turn. Bit of a lock-up from the Williams, missing the corner there, but I think he's stayed ahead just about. Indeed, he has. But Bards now will be at a severe aerodynamic disadvantage, as now Energetic is going to go down the inside of turn 17, and that move is all done. Energetic up into 3rd now, but does Bavish decide to fight that back? Not into turn 1 anyway. He will fight back at the next DRS zone. He did something similar to Bards a few laps ago, and surely now that will be what is next on his mind. But now you think about this as, oh, Bavish there going wide thanks to the dirty air. Well, Bards has actually stayed with Bavish at this run. He's actually been able to do well. Does he actually have any damage to his front wing? Because I did see something go flying, but no, it was just a bit of carbon fiber there, as Herman, though, has definitely lost some front wing, and that made Fellow Sun go very wide there, and that's only benefited Rush the Series. So Herman carrying damage to his front wing, so maybe that's what we actually saw, although I highly doubt it there, as Race Chase and Verstappen swap positions. Of course, those two had a moment earlier on in the race, thanks to Verstappen's unsafe rejoin there, whether that goes to the stewards or not. Hearts will go to the end from lap 8, so Chugster there with crucial information. So everybody probably wait until lap 8, but probably on their last dice, as Herman there really struggling on the exit, as there's side-by-side action in the background here. Andrew and Fellow Sun are going to go side by side down the strip, the one of the longest straights in Formula 1, but also for the championship. Rush the Series goes past the German driver here in the Alpine, as there's a bit of three-wide action and a swap for 3rd place. There's all sorts of action up and down the field, and at the moment this is the one we're focusing on, as Bavish did get past for 3rd again. But Mr. Martinelli up into 9th, but now there's even more battling going on for 3rd place, and these lot are being left behind, and now we are on lap 8. And, well, Rush the Series is 2 seconds behind all of this, thanks to Herman's damage. He has dropped back severely, and is at the moment looking like that the championship contenders aren't going to have the best race. At least that is for Rush the Series and Herman the German. But Andy, again, cannot be caught, as now Babish will go straight back past the kick Sauber, and that is all said and done. Yet again, of course, Babish employing the tactic of, if you take third away from me down the straight, I'll just wait until the next DRS zone, and it's working well for the Williams so far. Speaking of a Williams overtake, Quincy has just gone past Sir Ibo for 18th place there, as now Kavachka and Tarkangino are having their own private little battle again. Again, not for a significant position. Kavachka gets that all sorts of wrong, allows the kick Sauber through without any drama, and they will continue on for now. But that is now Tarkangino ahead, of course. Remember, Kavachka has to serve a 10-second penalty in his next pit stop if he does have another one, or else he'll serve that post-race. And Energetic, oh, he's in the barrier at turn number 12. And that is the end of what was a promising-looking race. Of course, he mainly races for the championship in Division 2, but this is not going to help his confidence as he drops all the way down the order. And that is one less for Babish to worry about, and that's an entire side of the front wing gone, very similar to what Tarkangino had on the opening lap. And at the moment now, he's going to have to pit in, get that repaired, and hope for a safety car. I'm surprised we haven't seen one at all this evening. But of course, there's still things that can happen. Rush the Siri as well has just got past Herman, as now Herman is coming into the pits here on lap 9 out of 25. That front wing and medium tyre will go no further. And let's see if he will change his front wing. And yes, he will. And he will also put on a set of hard tyres. But I think Herman has given up the ghost for a good result this time around, and that is rather unfortunate for his own championship hopes, as now Babish and Rush Nasiri will maybe try and close the gap to one another, and there's only Bard separating the Ferrari from the Williams, as Sir Ibo gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations, and Energetic also followed Herman into the pits for what was also hard tyres. But Herman, I don't know where he would have lost that front wing end plate. That was certainly an interesting discovery, and I'm not sure where he would have lost it, to be honest with you. I'm trying to figure that one out, if I'm being honest, because I just don't know where he would have lost it. We obviously didn't see it on camera, but it must have been just after we saw Bards go into the back of Energetic, where we thought he lost his front wing end plate, but maybe it was Herman's debris that was just, and we just caught the aftermath of it. I don't know, hard to say it otherwise. It's a shame we don't have any replays, as now we're going to see Bards and Babish top of position again, but I bet you Babish is just kind of setting up that first DRS zone overtake. But it looks like the Red Bull just got a better run through the corners there. Babish able to stay with it for the time being. Let's go on board with the Williams driver here, as now they're both going into the pit lane, so never mind, we're not going to see any battle at all at the moment. But Babish there trying not to go into the back of the Red Bull, as caution is in sector 2 for a Mercedes driver. That is ADS there also having a moment, as Bards gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And so that is what was a great qualifying, and that is going to turn into a rather miserable result. And after all of the drama race chase has been through, he's now in the top 6. But ADS is the recent victim of turn 12. But it looks like he kind of got away with that. There isn't any visible damage to the car that I can see, not on his front wing at the very least, but there might be some floor damage that we are not able to see. Moksha also into the pit lane. Fresh set of hards for him, so everybody going on to the hard tyre till the end of the race. And as long as there's no safety car interruption, that should be the tyre that you want to be on. And here we go. Now Babish, of course, just making his pit stop behind Bards. Of course, Bards now going to have to serve that 10-second penalty post-race for speeding in the pit lane. A rather unfortunate set of circumstances for the Red Bull after qualifying in second place, which of course his now teammate does occupy. And of course the championship contender was Danger David back in season 4, but sadly the rear end was just a bit too snappy with him back in Barcelona, and that was really the last time we saw him race full time. As far as I can remember. Then obviously in season 5, that's when we began the Monday and Tuesday divisions, and then it was only really until last season where we started seeing them being divided by pace. It was originally based on availability, and of course if you do watch the Division 2 races, which are of course going to be taking place here tomorrow night, you will of course know that Pleasant St. Thomas, but that is Bards very deep into turn number 14 there, misses the corner entirely. I think he just about avoided damage, but that is now Babish going to benefit from that. Did Bards get away with that? You know what, I'm not sure if he did. No, he didn't. He's missing a front wing end plate. from all of that. I'm sorry if you just heard a little bit of an audio glitch there. But now, Vincenzo gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And we have pit lane action here in Vegas. Herman the German will, of course, need to benefit from as many positions as he can. He only goes up into 10th, right behind Andrew. But you've got to say, Andy Andre now, if things continue to go as they are, and Babish is the only one to benefit, well, that really only tightens up the championship even more. Let's say from Rush the Siri to Andy Andre, there is a difference from P1 to P6. So 26 points to P6, that is... Wow, that is 16 points there. Thank you very much also to the lurker of Milady Gina. Thank you very much for tuning in as well. You are currently joining us by the halfway point of an SSRL Las Vegas Grand Prix. It has been a rather topsy-turvy affair. Babish with the undercut on both Danger David and Andy Andre. So really, Danger David and Andy, we need to start thinking about going in for their relevant pit stops. Here we go, though. Danger David should follow the Romanian driver in. Romanian, the current world champion here in SSRL, as Race Chase is passed by Babish. But you know what? That is important because he will have DRS down that straight. That will be everything if he is to make this undercut work. Babish now is fighting for what could be a very advantageous position in his championship hopes. Race Chase will depart into the pits, but that's not who we're keeping an eye on. Andy Andre and Danger David have our attention. Here is Babish approaching turn 1. He's going to get past David. He's not quite going to be past Andy Andre. There he is at the front of your pictures there. Race Chase down to 9th, maybe. Yeah, down to 10th now. Herman's made his move. Can Babish get any DRS? No. Caution in sector 2, though, for a Williams driver. Quincy in the walls again at turn 12. And Babish now is right behind Andy. And the Romanian needs to get his tyres up to temperature. So Babish now, it is a ball in your court. Can you do anything with it? We'll soon see. Andy very wide through those turns as now a McLaren has got into the wall there, and bouncing over the curb of turn 14. That is currently going to sort itself out, though, as now Babish was unable to stay within that 1 second gap. But is he using his battery to try and get within the DRS detection points? He certainly was. The car at the back went black, so that means that they are using their battery to keep up and get that extra power. And there you go, you can see it again. It is now at 0.8 of a second, and I think Babish knows that this is the Grand Prix right here, right now. He is closing and closing. Does the DRS open? Yes, it does. That is so important for his race. And now, well, pressure cooker is all the way with Andy Andre. It is only a 2-lap difference between the hard tyres. That is nothing with this compound, as Wouter and fellow Sun swap positions as well. Wouter up into 6th place there, 3.3 seconds behind Rush the Siri. But now, well, look at this. You have got a championship of one looking for their first championship, one looking for their 6th championship. Andy Andre, of course, has had the bit of a card, has had the cards not handed to him very nicely. A retirement in Singapore all the way back. I think that was... When was Singapore? Was that round 2? I think it was. But anyway, enough about that. And then, of course, having to get married and then miss a couple of more weeks of racing. And now, well, he's come back into it and he's trying to hold on to the win. But now Babish is going to be really on his tail probably for the rest of this race. This is going to be a very exciting conclusion. And in fact, Babish's undercut has worked nicely for Danger David. Remember, David was at a 2-second gap before the pit stops occurred. And now Babish needs to be mistake-free all the way back in Baku, where he took, well, all the way back in Baku. I think that was last season. There's a caution in sector 3. Oh, no. And Quincy has gone off again. But now we need to cut back here because Babish is about to have a run on Andy Andre. But David might also have a run on Babish. The driver from Mauritius is now going up against a non-world champion from Romania. And here we go. This is going to be Babish to the lead of the race. And he takes the lead. And this is important for his championship. But it's not over yet. We have still got 13 laps to go. It'll be 12 at the line. Bit of a bad exit there from Babish. As now we go and start lap 14 in a few moments. And now finally, Danger David can look down the inside of the Mercedes. But the Mercedes is going to look around the outside of the Williams first. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Potentially Babish, though, is going to go to the inside. Can he make anything work? Not quite. Can David make anything work? No. But now Bards is still there. And if these four keep fighting, well, look at Rush Siri. Your championship leader will be brought into all of this as well. Here we go. DRS for Babish again as we approach turn number 5. And there's contact between him and Andy Andre. And that's a front wing end plate going missing from the Williams. That is not what he needed at this time. And Quincy into the barrier as well. And safety car deployed. Oh, that is hopefully not deliberate, but the timing of that is rather convenient. After Babish even lost his front wing end plate going into the back of Andy, Quincy crashes out. And that gives, well, Babish a bit of breathing room there to get that front wing repaired. But also, for Rush Siri and Herman the German, that is a lifeline that they both needed. And for anybody that pitted as well, well, Turugster says, geez, and I don't blame him. That is a pivotal moment in this championship. What a great race in terms of action. I do agree with you with that one, Hessel. This is going to be an even better ending. That was just getting exciting. It will get exciting again, Trugster. I promise you that. Babish losing his front wing end plate as well has been given a lifeline. That is oh so important. Of course, I just want to kind of back away from this exciting race here because I don't know if any of you will be old enough to remember this as Herman the German with a drive-through penalty. Oh no! Herman the German was handed a lifeline and it's been thrown away. The Season 1 champion has thrown away a lifeline, and Vegas, well, he has betted on the wrong colour and he's going to leave the City of Chance with a massive debt in his championship. And Babish now and Rush Siri are handed an absolute gift as, well, Babish only loses a position to Race Chaser Rush Siri. I think he's got away with that. Very luckily so, but now Race Chase is in this race. It's incredible. This has really thrown the spanner in the works. The timing is convenient there, but I don't think there was anything obviously deliberate about it. I just kind of want to make sure that we don't put anybody in a bad light here. I don't think Quincy would have been aware that Babish lost his front wing, but either way, as there we go. This track is awful. Quincy, are you aware that at the very moment you went into the barrier that Babish lost his front wing end plate? And no, it wasn't deliberate. Okay, there we go. All right, cleared up. But we and now Rolly coming in with the best quote of the evening. We have Quincy Gate, chat. And guess what? The last time we had Crash Gate, that was at a street circuit. No, Quincy's not that bad. No, Quincy's not that bad. No. We are not going into 2021 territory on this stream. Let's not do that, please, for the mental health of everybody here. Let's not do that. But otherwise, we are currently waiting to get things back underway. We are gonna probably have another 2 laps behind the safety car, and then we will be. See, I was lapped and trying not to hold anyone up. Cold tires equals death there. So Quincy going into the barrier and terrible track. I mean, each their own. I actually quite like driving around it in a Assetto Corsa. Ban it. Okay. All right then. I mean, I quite like it. I like driving it in a Assetto Corsa. It's quite fun. With my direct drive wheel, I'm not showing off or anything. Nah, wouldn't be me. Wouldn't be me to show off. But anyway, thanks to what we are all we are now calling it. We are gonna now call this if Babish wins this, by the way, we are calling this race Quincy Gate. I am gonna call it here now, and it doesn't matter what Quincy says. That's what we're gonna do now. So there we go. Quincy Gate is now on the table. We'll see what happens, but it is still Andy Andre leading the way after that safety car was brought out for Quincy's crash at this very turn that we are looking at right now, and we will soon be underway. Quinn Gate. It rolls off the tongue, but It does. There we go. We have it. It is Quinn Gate. We have it, chat. Anyway, I couldn't agree more. If I think too much about that, I'm going to lose it on stream, so I'm going to try my best to recompose. We should be underway. I think safety car will be called in by race control at the end of this lap. We'll, of course, do our typical safety car restarts because I'm, of course, a great TV director. No self-praising on this channel. I am always oh so humble. But at the moment, I don't... Actually, is it going to happen? Is virtual race control going to call it in? We do need to still wait for another couple of cars to catch up. Well, more specifically, no, race control have called it. So there we go, virtual race control, call the safety car in, round turn 14. And DeAndre, the audio gets handed over to you. It is up to him when he restarts as soon as the safety car is in the pit lane. Keep an eye on that yellow dot on the track map on the bottom right. And we are back underway, and DeAndre didn't really wait long, but Rush the Siri already up into third place here. He is not wasting time, and already we might have a three-wide battle here as Barris to the inside. He knows he needs to do this now. Rush the Siri goes wide in turn one, and the advantage he had has now been lost. Now Andrew and Barris are going to go side by side, and there's a three-wide affair going on in the background as well. What is this restart? Barris already up into third place, but 1.6 seconds away from the top two, and is fighting with Andrew as now Race Chasers had to back out. Another front wing end plate has gone flying there onto the back of the Aston. Finally finds the barrier. Wouter loses it through the next turn there. Was that another end plate for one of the Red Bull drivers maybe? As everybody's trying to navigate the turns here. It was Bards missing a front wing end plate there. He's going side by side with Herman the German. No one in the barrier through those section of turns, but Bards still fighting like he is fighting for the championship. Rush the Series as well has just got back past Andrew maybe? No, he was fighting with Andrew, so no, that makes sense actually. But Rush the Series is already no. Bleh. Anyway, I know English. Well, Babish is already 1.8 seconds down the road, and Danger David has stayed with Andy Andre on this one as well, as it's currently a 10th and a half. They're going to go side by side down the Las Vegas strip, and David gets that move done for the lead of the race. Can the Scotsman bring Scottish pride here in Vegas? We will soon find out. But now Babish is going to be hot on their heels as Mr. Walter and Race Chase swap for 7th and 8th. And now Bards will try and take advantage of that as well. Herman is trying his absolute hardest. Why is he pitting? Oh yes, he's got a drive-through penalty. That's why. My bad there as Danger David and Andy go side by side again. Look who's there though, as David defends rather stubbornly. And he's brought Barish right back into it. Well. This is certainly taking a turn for the Bucks, and Andy knows he needs to defend. And at the moment, David is going to cover off the outside line. These two made contact earlier on, and Barish goes through into second place. And now it's trying to find another way through. Andy there trying to look at the inside, but no dice there as Moksha and Race Chase swap for 10th, and then Energetic finds his way through round the outside. This is exciting stuff here. Verstappen also finding his way through the American driver. The Aston Martin dropping like a stone to water on these hard tyres, and it's not worked out for him so far. But look at this as well. You have 2, maybe 3 championship contenders in fighting for the, fighting for the lead of this race, but all 4 of them have experience, maybe even 5 of them as well. Fellow Son also tried to fight Andy for one of the titles in seasons gone by, but now Bavish has gotten past Andy, now needs to get past David. He's got that done, and is up into the lead of the race. This is an exciting Vegas Grand Prix, and we are going to have 7 laps to go at the line. Here we go. Caution in Sector 1, don't take any notice of it. That is a graphical glitch from EA's side of things. That is not representative of what's actually happening on track here. But there we go, as Fellow Son takes the fastest lap of the race there, so he's very quick in his Haas car. But the problem is he has a post-race penalty coming his way for track limit violations, as ADS now gets his first one of the evening. So no, that's his second one, beg your pardon. So that's now 6 seconds added on to his post-race time. And well, is Bavish going to start getting away? But Bavish might be in a bit of trouble with the stewards, because remember, he went into the back of Andy Andre at this very corner just before the safety car was called. And now it's 7 laps to go. Obviously, we've just seen Babish take the lead, but Urshasiri is trying to find a way through the current world champion. Andy never makes it easy, but he's very wide again through turn number 7 there. And, well, through 8 and 9, he kind of messes himself up here. And Urshasiri knows he's got to run on, and it's very rare to find a weakness in the Romanian's armour. And the Romanian squeezes him all the way to the wall, almost causing contact, but luckily they all keep it fair and square. And now down the Las Vegas Strip, and well, whoever's got the lowest drag, who got the lowest amount of wings, this is kind of your territory now, as there's more battling, and that's a kick Salvo who's spun round. Yet again, another victim at turn 12 as Mr. Welter also makes an overtake on Andrew there. But will he have the DRS? We need to kind of look at the battle for the lead yet again. And DeAndre to the outside, while David defends the inside. This may only help Urshasiri, to be honest with you. David defends successfully and will have to try and stay within Babish's DRS for the next zone, which will be coming up after turn 1. This is an absolutely exciting Grand Prix. You would be silly to tune away from this. Well, Fellow Sun can at least hold on to 5th as well. His post-race penalty window has been burst because Andrew is now hovering in that 3-second window, but it doesn't look like it's going to be coming down anytime soon, especially, of course, he has DRS and basically a quadruple slipstream from the 4 cars in front of him. So this is looking like it's all safe and sound for Fellow Sun at this current moment in time. Danger David here trying to take another win for Scottish pride. He, of course, the Scotsman driver who was competing for the Season 4 Championship. It didn't go his way, but has really been enjoying being a reserve. The pressure, he said himself in a post-race interview a few weeks ago, the pressure's off, and I just enjoy turning up and having fun. But he loves this Red Bull. This is the very car he contended the championship for back on F1 24, which was, of course, a Season 4 gain for that. And he is really enjoying life at the moment now, up in second, leading the way in the Reserves Championship. And of course, he could actually confirm that in the next few races if he continues to show up. But here we go. This one is an important one for the current championship at stake. And DeAndre, well, is currently having to defend the inside. But who has the better straight line speed? Urshasiri has the slipstream as well as a helping. But it didn't make any difference at all. As again, Mr. Welter race chase swap. But look at this. And he has been overtaken on the exit of what is turn number 16 there. And now Fellow Sun is going to have a run at him. What is happening to Andy here, who is dropping through the entire field here? Well, let's say the entire field, the entire battle here. This is oh so rare to see. Is that anything to do with the hard tyres he has bolted onto the car? I wouldn't think so at first look, but either way, he is struggling to keep pace with the guys in front. 5 laps to go. And Andy is moving down rather than moving up, as Bards and Moksha have just swapped for 8th place there. And of course, Bard's losing his front wing end plate earlier on, and Herman the German down to 14th due to a drive-through penalty under safety car conditions. Of course, Quincy bringing out that safety car a few laps ago. And, well, Herman needed that safety car, and sadly, it just wasn't for the taking. Of course, Herman, as you all know, for those that do watch Division 2, will be with me in the commentary box tomorrow, I think. And we will, of course, see him there and then. But right now, we are seeing the conclusion to an epic race in Division 1. And we will soon see how this all goes. Of course, Quincy also back with us tomorrow in the driver's seat, and he'll have to have a second run at the Vegas track, which he oh so hates. And of course, tomorrow, a very crucial race for him. Remember, he's got a 16-point deficit to Pleasant Snake, who he's fighting with the championship with. And with all the tracks that you want to be around, this is not the one you would want to be at one of your most crucial races. So here we go. It is Danger David as we have a caution center 2 for race chase. He has got it all wrong here, and he could cause a problem. Oh, goodness me. That was close to contact there, as Andy Andre has just found a way through Urshasiri. Oh, no! Urshasiri has made a mistake, and he's losing out big time, and now Babish is handed a wonderful advantage, but he needs to hold off the Flying Scotsman and the Flying Romanian race chase with a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Fellow Sun goes very wide there at turn number 5. And this is goodbye championship hope, says Quincy. Well, we'll wait and see for tomorrow night. Anything that will happen can happen usually. Verstappen gets past Bards as well. He's up into ninth place. It's been a good drive, good consistent drive from the Haas driver. Now up into ninth place, but his teammate fellow son much higher than him for obvious reasons. But Rush Nasiri, an entire front wing almost gone. Look at that right-hand side of the car. It is just gone to smithereens. And now Mr. Wouter is also here as well. Oh, what? Mr. Wouter is now getting involved with this as well. This is incredible stuff. But Andy Andre has caught back up to the top two, and he will battle with them for the final 3 laps at the line as Rush Nasiri gets back past. It is now all about damage control. From first to fourth, there is a gap of 12 points there. So, of course, that would mean he would have a 12-point deficit. No, would he? Yes, he would. He would have a 12-point deficit going into next week. But we'll see how that all works out, as at the moment, Babish has still got 3 more laps to go, and Danger David is applying the pressure, as he always does. And Rush Nasiri is doing his best to hang on to that limping Ferrari to get that to the end, carrying a problem now. Let's see what he can do. But at the moment now, Babish with the highest amount of pressure, you can easily argue we're for defending the lead from 2 very quick drivers, 2 established drivers in this league. Babish, of course, showed glimpses of his pace last season, but this season he's really pulled it together and is putting a real championship charge on the line. And it has been an epic season to commentate. Both Herman and Rush Nasiri has suffered this evening, and Rush Nasiri is still suffering as now Verstappen and Andrew go side by side. We'll cut away from that for just a few moments, and at the moment now, with 3 laps to go, we will not have another safety car, as well as Verstappen goes up into 8th place there. So this is a very good rejoice. Andrew has a free race pro second, has a 3-second post-race penalty to serve. Thank you very much, Quincy. I'm sure I can see that. Come on, Davy boy, says Trugster. So we know where Trugster's loyalties lie, with the driver in 2nd place. But Rush Nasiri is still trying his best to hang on as well, but I think he's about to be overtaken now. He could still get 4th, but of course the complication now is Mr. Wouter is in the frame, and if, well, this lack of pace continues from the Ferrari driver as fellow son down the inside, he is now trying to hang on to that, but he messes up the exit there. Something rotten. So now these 3 are about to do battle going into the final turn. Down the inside for Rush Nasiri, maybe he'll get that 4th place back, but he's going to have a massive amount of understeer. He's not going to have the aerodynamic performance he's been used to all race. And in fact, Mr. Wouter goes into the back of the Ferrari there, and he doesn't know, but that Ferrari is carrying front wing damage, and he might have just realised it now, as now Rush Nasiri loses out big time to fellow son as they come out of turn number 4. Mr. Wouter now trying to get some sort of straight line advantage, but he won't have it here. He'll now know needing to brake earlier, as locking up there is Rush Nasiri. Meets the apex still. Rush Nasiri doing very well to keep that as straight as it is. And now, 2 laps to go at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Babish at the moment is the one to be looking out for, but Danger David and Andy know how to pull a miracle out when it is needed. Either way, though, this is one of the final 2 opportunities, well, 3 opportunities if you're being technical, to get past the Mauritian driver. He has absolutely developed his racecraft to absolute perfection, and now he might be coming away with the win. He goes to the inside and then the outside to try and break the slipstream, but we have a caution for Bards there at the background, and look at all this. They're catching and Andy is going to try and make a move, but nowhere to go. He's going to have the exit, but nowhere to go with it. The track just too narrow at that part. Herman also benefiting from Bards' mistake there earlier on. But now, the top 3 for the race only have 3.8 miles to decide what order this finishes in. What does Babish do? Does he play a game of DRS chicken? Both 2nd and 3rd on 13-lap-old hards. Will the mediums go? Will take Babish to the end of this one? We will soon find out. DRS open for both Danger David and Andy Andre. Babish has got one last straight to go, and it's going to be the hardest to defend, but he's kept that all neat and tidy for the time being. Is he saving any battery? We'll have to wait and see. Quincy. You can see the recharge happening there, but will Danger David think about having a go? No, he doesn't. The top three are line astern going into turns 7, 8, and 9. This is oh so close. Bavish there with an awful mistake now. This could really ruin his lap. Danger David had to back out of it briefly. This could give a chance to Andy Andre, who's going to go around the outside. Bavish is oh so close as well. Don't go 3 wide into here. Danger David to the inside. Everybody's stopping. There's all sorts of contact on the exit of the corner. But now, there is just the Las Vegas trip to go. Andy up into second place after all of that. Bavish under serious pressure. He's feeling it now. One world champion to one contender to a former contender. It's not over yet. It's not over. We're going to go 3 wide down the strip. There's contact between Andy and David. But David is in the lead. Locks up heavy. Oh my goodness. This is crazy stuff. Bavish trying down the inside. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness. What have we just witnessed? Danger David goes Scotland forever in Vegas. What an ending. That was crazy. What have I just witnessed? Oh my goodness. I am genuinely speechless. I can't believe it. Fellow son, after all of that, gets a podium. Rush the Siri has just crashed out. Not of his own doing. Bavish was just too desperate there. And Andy will get third. Oh my goodness. You just saw the top 3 make contact on the final lap of the final through corners. I have no words. I have no words at all. Rush the Siri will score no points. Herman will score more. Trunkster is becoming Mr. Obvious. That's one for the highlight reel. That is one. That might be the final lap of final laps. Unbelievable ending. I have never seen anything like that in my life. And we're going to have to go through. The interviews are going to be spicy, chat. The interviews are going to be spicy. Who is... Well, we know your race winner. Somehow, Scotland forever. Race chase took the fastest lap as Andrew took driver of the day. Most overtakes went to Andrew. Clean it. I don't agree with that one. I don't agree with that one after what happened there. But your unofficial, definitely unofficial results coming out of Vegas. It is Danger David, a fellow son, and Andy on your podium. Bavish and Moksha with your top 5. 6th, 10th is Andrew, Vincenzo, Rengentic, Verstappen, and Herman the German. ADS, Targagino, Race Chase, Kovachka, and Bars 15th. And then your non-finishers were Rush the Siri, Walter, Siribo, and Quincy. Yeah, Bavish was to blame there. Too desperate. I know what he was trying to do, but it didn't pay off, and it really just made the whole situation worse. And now he's facing a very, very, very big penalty. And yeah, I think that might be of all the evenings to do that. That was not one of them. Rush the series. Bavish there in all sorts of trouble. That is... unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is one of the final laps of all time I have ever seen. The top 3, inseparable for the final few laps. I don't know what to say. I really don't know. And we have to go through premium interviews. Let's see who's in. Nobody's in. Guys, make your way in, please. We need to talk to all of you. Make your way in. Danger David. of course, taking the win out of all of that. And oh no, we're already throwing blame around. Babish saying, you lost the rear, you closed the inside. Come on, man, how can you not think of pressure when you get a loose rear? What an ending. Do it quick, guys. I want to rewatch the streams. Says Moshe. Oh, God. At least we can laugh about it. I don't remember who finished where. Somehow I think Fellowson got second in all of that. I don't know how. He had a post-race penalty, and it didn't matter. Goodness me. Anyway, let's get on with this quick, because I think we have a lot to digest there. Danger David, we're gonna just get things started. Congratulations. That was a that final lap was the final lap of all times, and it didn't go without drama. Just to kind of address the elephant in the room right off the bat, what was your perspective on all of that?
Yeah, I don't really know. It happened quite quick, in my opinion. I didn't get a good entry into the final, like that breaking point on the back straight, but I thought it was pretty optimistic for Bavish to bang up the inside like that. At that angle, it's a pretty bad outcome, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have been diving up the inside. I would have been waiting for the switchback and getting acceleration on the straight. You know, it was a lot of pressure in that final lap. Really smart play by Andy. He knew fine well I was recharging the battery, and he pushed me to go alongside Bavish just before the DRS detection point. So it was really smart play. And yeah, I think he hit the back of Bavish, which pushed him a little bit further in the corner. I'm not too sure. And then, of course, you've seen the action down that back straight. I don't know. I need to look at the replays. I need to see Bavish's point of view, everyone's point of view. You've got to take into consideration the adrenaline on that last lap, 3 cars all battling. So I think it was optimistic him putting up the inside. And if I'd done it reverse, he'd be quick in the chat to say, oh, that was optimistic. So leave it to the stewards.
And yeah, best point of approach there. Of course, that was that. I mean, there were some championship implications in that as well. It was quite the lap, as I keep saying. But what I really want to ask was, like, was there any going into this evening? Were you thinking about the win at all? And what kind of was the strategy in all of this as well?
Honestly, I was with the wet qualifying, the setup that I was using, I was expecting P10 and below as a starting position. So the fact I got to, what was it, P4, P3 that I started on, I was happy with that. Lost a position to Bavish earlier in the race, actually in the first corner, which I was fine with. I was playing the long game. And of course, it was a good strategy. I feel it worked out. I was going to do exactly what Andy done. I think it worked out perfect with Bavish going in before us, because it meant that when me and Andy came out the pits, Bavish slotted in between, and it reconnected that DRS between us. So yeah, I think overall it was a good race. Worked out fine.
All right. Well, David, I'm just going to move swiftly on. Congratulations on the win there. Scotland forever. And we'll hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, boy.
Fellow son, we move on to you. Despite having a post-race 3-second penalty for track limit violations, after all of that chaos, you bring it home in second place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. What was the thought there? Through the final corner, and you see 3 cars in the wall, and you're like, huh? What was going through your head?
I know it's sad, and it's probably upsetting for some people to lose it like that, but I mean, I just couldn't stop laughing. Honestly. It's just, how good is this for luck? I mean, if the race finished 1 lap earlier, I would have been P7. So I don't really know what happened.
Well, there was a bit of, from the commentary point of view, we'll just give you a bit of a breakdown. It looked like Bavish was just being a bit optimistic through turns, 14, 15, and 16, going down the inside of that little right-hander before the left onto the final straight. And then all of a sudden, everybody was just crunched up together and had nowhere to go. We'll probably just watch it back before we end the stream, but either way, that's kind of how it played out. So, I mean, like, as you said, you would have finished P7 if it was 1 lap earlier, but it worked out like that. And, well, as like, are you thinking about going back full time next season as well? Because you were very good in that race today, considering your pace.
I don't know. I don't really enjoy this game. Sometimes it's nice to come back and race against people, but it's not like I deserved P2. P7 would have been a lot better. So it's not that really.
And I just also want to ask about the strategy today as well. Was it always going to be the one stop, or did the two stop ever cross your mind at all at any point?
No, it was going to be a one stop. And when I seen Herman pit, I thought, oh yeah, he's done a very good. He had a very good idea there, and he's going to undercut everyone. But then I pitted one lap later, and then when I came out, I was like 3 seconds in front of him. So I don't know if he caught some traffic or the hard tire just wasn't good in the first lap. Yeah, I didn't really give it too much thought, really. The game suggested a one stop, so I went with a one stop.
All right, then. So congratulations on a second place. Well done to you, and we'll hopefully see you next time at some point.
Yeah, thank you for commentating.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, last up in our podium interviews, your current world championship, who's just had involvement in a rather controversial incident, Andy Andre, P3, but I imagine you thought you were on for more there. Can you just take us through what happened in that final lap through your point of view?
Well, I'm going to try not to focus so much on the last lap. Aside from that, it was a pretty good race. Another pole in the wet. It's amazing. Is the thing I'm most happy about after today. And the race started off pretty good. The first stint went really well. Managed to get a bit of a gap. The pit was fine, even with Bavish's undercut. The only unfortunate thing was me getting in a battle with David. I didn't expect him to try to overtake on the outlap on the hards, because we had about 1.7 or 2 seconds to Bavish, and it would have been better just to hold the battle off for a few laps, just to break that, to not get in, let him get in our DRS. But, yeah, sadly we had no patience there, and we brought him right back in the game. And yeah, then breaking out of DRS was possible for none of us, and just kept battling throughout the second stint, and it got more intense as the laps went by. In the final laps, banging wheels on every straight, and light tapping in every braking zone. So yeah, it was a bit more aggressive from all of us than we normally have in this league. But what can I say? Happy I've managed to get a podium after all that, and hopefully it will stick.
Let's hope. But otherwise, I mean, you were kind of said yourself, you were kind of out of championship contention, and if maybe things, well, actually, Rush the Series not scoring any points now, and with third place, that gives you a nice 17-point advantage. Well, nice 17 points advantage over Rush the Series, so that brings down your total from 59 to 42 points. I mean, that is a nice chunk of points to take away from this, if the podium is upheld, of course. Well, surely the confidence is growing just little by little by little.
No, I don't think so, really. Bavish is also pretty far up, and he's always scoring strong this season. So I'm not expecting to fight for the championship, but still, really enjoyable season to be, even after losing the championship hopes.
All right, Andy Andre, congratulations on P3. We'll see if it sticks going into next week, but enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, thank you. See you next week. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And with that, we conclude the podium interviews, but we're not done with the stream just yet, because we need to go back and review that final lap, which was an absolute, which is going to be going down in SSRL history as one of the most controversial. I do not expect Bavish's P4 to uphold, but we are going to have a look back at it. There is a way to do this. If you're the streamer, you go into videos, right? And then you go into here. Show it. Replay. No problem at all. At your service here in SSRL. Yeah, so we are going to just bring that up. Let's just make sure we can bring that in glorious 1080p. And in fact, yeah, there we go. We're not too far away. We just need to rewind just a little bit. I might even unmute the stream for you, and I'll let you enjoy the commentary from there on out. But either way, definitely some controversy. Oh, thank you, man. You will be missed so hard. You are. I'll miss you guys too. Don't worry about that. You're not the only one who's going to be doing the missing. Anyway, the time is fast approaching as well. Ah, right. I haven't set this up properly, so if you just give me a moment, I'll just need to set up a window capture, and then we can have a look at it. Let's have a look. Window capture. Let's go. Select window capture. That's the one, and there we go. That is currently at the top of the screen. Let me just make sure. Ah, that is why. I will just have to put down the game capture for now, and here we go. So we come out of the race. We go back into my race feed, my supposed race feed. We're just going to mute the sound for a bit. And let's not focus on that one just yet. So we're going to start from here. No, not here. Because it starts around here. So let me just go quiet. The top three are line astern going into turns 7, 8, and 9. This is oh so close. Barrister with an awful mistake now. This could really ruin his lap. Danger David had to back out of it briefly. This could give a chance to Andy Andre, who's going to go around the outside. Babish is oh so close as well. Don't go 3 wide into here. Danger David to the inside. Everybody's stopping. There's all sorts of contact on the exit of the corner. But now, there is just the Las Vegas trip to go. Andy up in the second place after all of that. Barish under serious pressure. He's feeling it now. One world champion to one contender to a former contender. It's not over yet. It's not over. We're going to go 3 wide down the strip. There's contact between Andy and David. But David is in the lead. Locks up heavy. Oh my goodness, this is crazy stuff. Barish trying down the inside. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me! Oh my goodness! And there you go. Just witnessed Danger David goes Scotland forever in Vegas. What an ending! Yikes, indeed. Oh my god! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness me! And well, let's break that down a little bit, shall we? David is in the lead. Let's break that down. Let's slow it right down. I think we saw that all in real time, but let's just go through that with an expert's opinion here. So we go and slow this down to 2.5. So Danger David going very, very wide there. That's not his fault there. I mean, that is just a genuine mistake. But of course, you're going to go going optimistic there into that next turn. You're not going to go side by side through there. You do need to kind of think about giving that up. But then you've got Andy Andre alongside you as well. This is just... Oh, it's just such an unfortunate situation. And of course, it continues on. David gets the rear end back and then loses it a little. Maybe losing it again. But then you look at Babbage to the inside there as well. Does he make a bit of contact with the wall, maybe? Doesn't look like it. We didn't get the best angle there. But then already you can see David and Babbage going side by side on the exit of 16. And there we go. And then they are all 3 of them in the wall. Well, technically all 3. And then you see Babish and Angie just losing it. Of course, that's just the momentum of the contact that happened there. And then, of course, there's Andy just parking it to the side. I thought he was out. But he continues on. And then Babish just does a 180. And then you see Mr. Wouter coming into frame. And with Rush to Siri not too far behind, there's Router out of the race. And then Rush to Siri, well then, suffers the same fate. Championship leader out of that one after controversial circumstances as Rush to Siri, who takes flight there from Vegas. Crazy Andy safe P3 too. Absolutely, yeah, Bavish was in the wall inside, understeered into David. Absolutely. Bavish, sorry, but that was a terrible 180 to reset back. Wrong. A wrong timing indeed. Hessel has actually analysed that to absolute perfection. Bavish was in the wall on the inside, understeered into David. Nah, it was Bavish. He went on the race. Like, I pushed you to DNF Rush. There was nowhere to go. No, Moksha, you are not to blame at all. You are not to blame at all for any of that. I think that unfortunately was... I don't know if you saw the whole replay. I'll just let you watch it back. But here we go again. One last time. So we had, obviously... Hang on. Let's go a little further back. So, can I get the timing right on this? We'll see. Here we go. So we go into the corner here, which is where it all kicks off. Turn 14, we are approaching. So Danger David locks up. And there we go. He's wide at turn 14. So he's completely missed the racing line, which is here. And he's having to recover. So this slows these two down. Bavish doesn't back out. He's just trying to race it hard. But he goes a bit too hard there. I think he might even be on the throttle going out of turn 15. Now, that's 15 there, which is this right-hander. Then you have the left-hander of 16. And there's Bavish and Danger David already alongside one another. And there we go, into the wall. And this is probably the part that Moksha's interested in. Andy and Bavish go into the wall on the right-hand side. Andy, he stays to the left-hand side of the track. And then Bavish does a 180 spin. And there's Mr. Wouter in your frame. And boom, he's out of the race after a great drive from the Racing Bull. And then the Ferrari out of the race as well. And Moksha there was just an innocent victim. Unrolled there, and Rush the Series takes off from the Vegas Strip Airport. And that is just an unfortunate state of affairs. So a large penalty will be looming over Rush the Series. Sorry, not Rush the Series. No, Bavish going into next week. So there you go. Moksha, you were not to blame for that at all. That was just unfortunate timing. Rush the Series, of course, a victim in that as well. It gets worse with each replay. So, Bavish might have a few penalties come his way, and that might spell the end of his championship, because he'll need to serve a post-race penalty next week. My heart is broken, he says. And of course, Bavish lost his front wing end plate, which of course then was the safety car. World Constructors Championship over. So that is unfortunate for Williams there. And Bavish is going to be serving one heck of a penalty next week. I can guarantee you that. That was a rather unsafe 180. But that made me forget all about that, Quingate. I forgot about that in all of that, because that was so close for the top three. No more Quingate, absolutely. It's now called Bavgate. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave you with that. But anyway, we will be back at same time tomorrow. We're here with Herman the German in the commentary box. He will be bringing us Div 2. We'll be back next week though for Division 1 action in Qatar. Not known for its overtaking, more of a MotoGP track, but of course we'll have one last race in the Strip of Las Vegas tomorrow for Division 2, which will be at same time as always, 8:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. GMT, got there eventually. A lot of action there, but a lot to unwind for the stewards and the admins there. Probably going to be a very long evening for them, as I could guarantee. Race results will be out in the middle of the week for the drivers, but otherwise we will announce those at the beginning of next week's stream for Division 1. But join us tomorrow for Division 2, where Quincy and Pleasant Snake are fighting for their lives for the championship. Quincy behind by 16 points going into tomorrow evening. Of course, didn't finish tonight. Can he at least bring some redemption tomorrow? Find out at 7:30 p.m. GMT. Bye for now.